In the heart of ancient Troy, there was a warrior whose name was spoken with both reverence and fear. Achilles, son of the mortal Peleus and the sea goddess Thetis, was a man destined for greatness, a hero whose very existence was marked by the hand of the gods. Born of two worlds, Achilles was blessed with near immortality, yet cursed with a fate that would lead him to both glory and an untimely end. From his birth, Achilles' destiny was intertwined with the divine. Thetis, his mother, sought to protect her son from the ravages of time and war. She dipped him in the sacred waters of the river Styx, granting him a body impervious to harm, save for the heel by which she held him. Achilles was raised not as a prince, but as a warrior. Under the tutelage of Chiron, the immortal centaur, he learned the ways of battle, the strategies of war, and the virtues of honor and courage. His skill in combat became legendary, his strength unmatched by any mortal man. But beneath his prowess lay a burning desire for fame, for glory, and for a name that would echo through eternity. When the call to arms came, Achilles answered without hesitation. The Greeks had gathered a mighty force to lay siege to Troy, seeking to reclaim Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world. But for Achilles, this war was more than just a battle for a woman's honor. It was the stage upon which his legend would be forged. With his loyal Myrmidons at his side, Achilles sailed to Troy, ready to carve his name into the annals of history. For 10 long years, the war raged on, and in every battle, Achilles stood at the forefront. His might was unmatched, his speed unparalleled. The Trojans trembled at the very sight of him, for no warrior could stand against Achilles and live. The gods themselves watched with bated breath as he cut a path through the Trojan forces, leaving devastation in his wake. But it was his duel with Hector, the greatest of the Trojan heroes, that would define Achilles' legacy. Hector, the defender of Troy, knew that he faced certain death, yet he stood firm against Achilles. The two warriors circled the city walls, their eyes locked in a deadly dance. When the moment came, Achilles struck with all his fury, his spear finding its mark in Hector's heart. With Hector's death, the fate of Troy was sealed, but so too was Achilles'. Achilles, consumed by rage and grief over the death of his friend Patroclus, showed no mercy. He desecrated Hector's body, dragging it behind his chariot for all of Troy to see. The gods, angered by his cruelty, began to turn their gaze upon Achilles, knowing that his time was drawing near. Despite his victories, Achilles was not blind to his fate. He knew that his glory would be short-lived, that his death would come soon after Hector's. But Achilles, driven by the desire for eternal fame, chose his path willingly. He would die young, but his name would live on forever. In the final days of the war, Achilles fought with the knowledge that his end was near. He threw himself into battle with a fury unmatched, cutting down Trojan soldiers by the dozen. Yet even as he fought, a shadow loomed over him, a fate that no man, no matter how great, could escape. Paris, the Prince of Troy, had no hope of defeating Achilles in open combat. But the gods, seeking to balance the scales, guided his hand. As Achilles rampaged through the battlefield, Paris, hidden among the ruins, took aim with his bow. The arrow, blessed by Apollo, flew straight and true, guided by the will of the gods. The arrow found its mark, piercing Achilles' heel, the only part of him that was not invincible. In that moment, the greatest of Greek heroes was brought low by a single, unassuming arrow. Achilles, who had faced gods and men alike, now felt the cold touch of mortality. Achilles, the hero of 1,000 battles, the slayer of Hector, and the pride of Greece, had met his end not in glorious combat, but by the hand of fate itself. The pain that surged through him was not just from the wound, but from the knowledge that his story, his life, was ending. With his final breath, Achilles, the greatest of all Greek warriors, passed into legend. His death marked the end of an era, but his name would live on, immortalized in the songs of poets and the hearts of those who would tell his tale.